G'day guys. I'm sure we're all aware now of the creased breather hoses that have been found on the Desert X that can destroy the fuel tanks. And from what most of the information out there is, when the tank is taken off and put back on, the breather hoses here can crease, which then obviously the tank can't vent and the tank is damaged because of it. I think some have been replaced under warranty. Not sure of all the statistics on it, but it's become a bit of a known problem. 8,000 Ks, this bike hasn't had the tank off yet. Last week it started making some pretty loud and creaking, groaning noises that appear to be coming from the fuel tank. So obviously the first thing I thought was check the breathers, and blowing through them, one of them was totally blocked, which I thought was odd, because we would believe that if the hose is creased, the problem would be there pretty well from the start, or especially taking that long to come to light. But what I found was, when I took it off, you'll see this front hose here, if you can see in there, the reinforcement, where the spigot on the front of the tank, and if you haven't had a tank off yet, your breather hoses go onto these two breathers here. Okay, so steel, they're not barbed or they're not rounded, they're pretty sharp edged. So what's been happening on that front hose, it's cut where obviously the bend was, it's cut in, and it's ripped out some of the rubber and the reinforcement, and that had created a ball in there which blocked that hose. So I've picked that out. I will be replacing that hose. Put the springs in, sat it back down, still wasn't happy about the way it was really tight, and it looked like those hoses would still crease. So what I've done, looking down, you'll see from the side here, there's the plug here. Now these hoses are the way the bike was routed from factory. So you've got this plug here, you've got your hoses that run up the side, up under the frame, pop out the top. Now you'll see here the plastic cover, the switch down the side here, and where these hoses routed, with both hoses running down in between the cover and that plug, when you sit the tank on, it takes a fair bit of pressure to push those hoses down. Add to that the rubber support or zip tie type of straps that are on all the bikes, on all the cables and everything that hold them together. There was one of them up here behind that plug. So you've only got about 4 inches, 5 inches there with that plug, the strap on here. Sit the tank on, and nowhere for those hoses to go. They crease in there. So what I did with the one that runs down to the bottom, simply come in from behind, pull that, grab the right one, pull that hose out. All right, it's nice and easy. Slip it around the outside of the plug, between the frame and the plug, up to the top. Now, and remove that rubber clip. Nice and free. Plenty of movement, can't crease. You see the rear one as well, goes up and down. There's nowhere for it to get snagged up and crease. What you can also do is, where you follow this front one down, it's again wrapped with these rubber bands here, drops out to the bottom in the belly pan. I've taken the bottom strap off, swung it out the back here. You can put the band back on, but purely so now when I sit the tank on, just blow through that hose, make sure it's clear. That'll tell you if it's clear all the way up to the tank. Now same for the back one. If you follow the rear one around, you'll see it runs around the side here, and it comes down into a plastic connector down the bottom here where those clamps are. So if you were worried about that one at all, you can simply reroute it. Pull it out, bring it around. Now you can run this wherever you want, and it's only if you're worried about it. You could loop it out the back, on the other side here, cable tie it down the frame or something like that, bring it back up so it's nice and clear and can't crease up here. Now you'd have to extend it to do this, obviously, and what you could do is cut the hose and put a connector in here, one of those plastic connectors, whether it be a 90 or a straight, depending on where you route the hose. The reason you want it at the back here is because when the tank's on, it covers all this area. So you want to be able to access it so you can actually pull the hose apart here, and like what I've said down the bottom there, blow through this hose as well. Make sure it's clear up to the top. So whichever way you go about it, there's a couple of solutions, but mainly is to open up the access there by rerouting these front hoses so it's not wedged in between the plug, the plastic cover. Give those hoses room to move and they shouldn't crease. Hopefully that helps someone. Bye.